G'day folks. Well, back to the supposedly malfunctioning fridge, and as you can see I've pretty much pulled it all to bits. Now I can't find anything obviously blown. I've had the top off the capacitor and that looks perfectly fine and tests fine. I've used my ESR meter and it tests fine. There is no burning, it doesn't even smell burnt. It's fully potted in resin. There's no way for any kind of smoke or smell to have gotten out of that. So I'm just going to glue the top back on that. I've even popped the little cover plate off the thermal switch. That's not arced over or burnt. I've seen these blown to pieces by failing compressors, but this thing is perfectly fine. The compressor also ohms up fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's got a full charge in it. It works fine. It runs fine. I just don't know. I mean, they're certain that there was a horrible smelling smoke and a few bangs coming from the fridge. I'm going to go and look at the power outlet to confirm that's okay, but I imagine an arc over in the power outlet would have tripped either the ground leakage, earth leakage breaker, or the main RC or the main circuit breaker. So it's really unusual. But before I do that, I'm going to run it. I'm going to pull that fan out and check that. It's run 24 hours and I think the defrost timer goes every 24, and it does run a mechanical defrost timer. Now the only unusual thing I found was that a little burnt bit of paper. It looks like there's also some fur in there. I really don't know. Looks like a bit of paper towel or something. I wonder if it got up onto the defrost element, perhaps. Got blown in there by an airstream, got stuck to the defrost element and just burnt a little bit. I mean, that wouldn't be it though. It doesn't even look like a label. It's a bit of paper towel from cleaning the thing, so that can happen. I mean, there's a ice sensor, ground, whole thing is grounded with a metal casing, so any shorts in here would trip the RCD element. There's another sensor, I think. Yeah, there's two sensors. There's an icing sensor and there's probably a defrost on. No, sorry, that's defrost element, one icing sensor and one fan. So I'll pull that out and make sure it works. Actually, no, I'll plug everything back in and power it up. That's just interior light which works. That's defrost timer, partly undone. And the thermostat control and everything's in the shed. I'm going to try and separate the foam housing and expose the thermostat housing. This thing's weird. I don't know, maybe they're imagining things. Unfortunately, you got to question the, I suppose, mental health of the elderly sometimes. I know my grandfather sees things that aren't there, which is very unfortunate. He's, yeah, in a bit of rough shape at the moment, so I'll try and help them out as best we can. I mean, they've already bought a new fridge, so if the same sort of thing happens to the new fridge, well, who knows. Okay, well that's the interior panel. I just have to try and separate this foam thing, which I got partly done, but I think that little spindle there has to clip through and the whole lot should pull out, because that operates a baffle, an air shut off, so that you can control the air coming from the freezer, so your fridge temperature's varied. Oh, actually no. Refrigerator has the thermostat, freezer has the air baffle, so the more you cut it off, the more the colder the freezer will be, because the freezer temperature isn't regulated by the thermostat if the air's not getting to it. So yeah, very simple system, but still a bit over the top for a fridge. I don't agree with these things. Lots of little newfangled plastic bits. It's fun trying to snap that out of its holder without breaking it. Oh, there's the thermostat. No obvious signs of flash burns or anything, and I know it was working because I had the fridge running at least 24 hours and there was absolutely no issue with it switching on and off. So I can put this back together again, put it all in and turn the power on, see if the fan works. I believe it was working. I mean, I could feel airflow. I don't know whether that was just through the cold air falling and drawing air through, or whether it was the fan working, but it should be. Works fine. There we go, it's frozen. I really don't know what's going on here. I don't think there's anything wrong with this fridge. It seems to be doing its job. Nicely frosty. Oh, we'll let it run. Put it back together properly and then let it run anyway. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. At least not electrically. I can't fault anything. Can't tell if the timer's turning, but that's the rotor for the defrost timer. Anyway, thanks for watching. Okay, well, final conclusion on that fridge that I could come up with, especially after talking to Mum. Nan probably heard the sound of it defrosting, and the smell was that piece of paper towel that ended up on the defrost element. We don't believe she actually saw smoke, it just smelt kind of nasty, and since that fan compartment also vents a bit of air out the back of the fridge with the condensate, it's probably where the smell came from, so yeah. Anyway, fridge is back together and running again, so I'll give it a few days, let it cycle on and off through the defrost cycle a few times, and just see what happens. If nothing stupid happens, I'm just going to put it down to an unfortunate bit of paper that ended up on the defrost element and burnt. Because it was fairly well singed, as you could see. The edges were black, and who knows what else, how big it was to begin with. So you could imagine like a 5-cent size piece of paper burning away on a heating element. Create a fair amount of smoke and smell, especially when it's fan forced. So I can understand, combined with the banging of the ice breaking up, that would be quite unnerving to wake up to in the middle of the night. So yeah, maybe that's all it is. Anyway, interesting little quest to find a fault. I'll give it that much. Thanks for watching.